Hello, everyone at TrophiesonPSN.com. This is IDP for Life. I am joined by our fearless leader, Kryptonite Dragon, and we were previously joined by one of our silent leaders, Country Guy 828. But we had a slight meltdown with our previous podcast. But because this is a special show, we are going to do another podcast for you guys. Um, Kryptonite Dragon, you still there?
I am.
All right.
I call do-overs.
Just so you guys
Do-over.
know, yes, this is definitely a do-over. Just so you guys know, this is our anniversary show. TrophiesonPSN.com has been with us officially now for 1 year. The date that the doors opened was February 1st, 2012. Is that correct?
Yeah, it is.
All right. So, Kryptonite Dragon already said, you're our fearless leader. But what exactly are you to our website?
Well, I initially was the brainchild of the website. I'm the one that thought up, doing a website based on trophies, and it wasn't an original idea, but I certainly thought about it long before. I was on other forums and websites, and most specifically, I remember seeing that there was a need for a site that did a lot more than the sites that are out there now. Did a lot more things on the site, gave a lot more to their members all in one spot, almost to create an all-in-one stop shop. And this is something that, as time went on, festered in my mind, and just kind of ate at me until I even saw a lot of these other forums, the staff treating their members kind of in a bad way, and not being unified, not applying any kind of growth or dreaming big or moving to the next big thing.
Right.
And so I put all that together, and it came to a header one day when I finally said, look, I'm gonna see if this is a viable option. I talked to a few good friends of mine that I've developed in the gaming community, and they all said, that sounds awesome, you should do it. And so we did. We launched, and prior to it I looked around for forum software and found that vBulletin was probably the best option, the most well-developed of the software programs, and the rest is history.
All right. So, that was the creation of it. What exactly do you do for the website currently? Are you just the moderator for the forum, or are you active in the programming as well?
Well, I've changed my mode a little bit, especially very recently. I used to be involved heavily with the community. I'm still around in the community, but I'm relying a lot more on the other administrator, 50 Quid, to run a lot more with the staff and generate some interest in some of the things like the graphics area. And from there, I've taken on a focus of learning a lot with the programming of vBulletin. Mm-hmm. I spend a lot of my time doing that. And Country Guy is the other end of that coin, where he takes up the PHP and MySQL, all the programming aspects of it. And it works out well. We complement each other, and that allows for us to get projects done working together, but then also when it's our specialty in our little corner of the world, one of us lets the other person handle it.
Okay, yeah. And just so you guys know, I'm not sure why Katie keeps saying his name wrong. His name is 50 Squid.
Yes, 50 Squid.
Yes, with an S. But just so... And of course, unfortunately, they won't get to hear this part, but you and Country Guy 828, you guys have almost like just the way that your work relationship flows. As you were saying, it's kind of like you do one part, he does the other, and you guys just don't step on each other's toes. I know on your Skype ID, you gave Dave a shout out for helping you move the server. What happened with that?
Well, as you guys know, it turned into quite a lengthy process. I can't say that Dave or myself had experience in moving a server, but I can certainly say that we got through it pretty well. We spent a very long time testing. We did several moves without actually telling the members or anything like that. We just basically put it to the new location, which we were able to access by the direct IP address. And we moved the site a couple times, tested it, tried to break things, saw what worked and what didn't. So that way we were ready on the day of the move, and were able to move without too much of a hitch. What happens is you typically can move all the files, but then things change with the database and stuff. And the typical procedure would be to shut a site down for a couple of days while you move stuff like that.
Right.
We were able to avoid that and actually move the site in less than an hour and got everything back up and running. We had a few hitches here and there, most specifically some things with cron jobs that were shutting the front page down, and a few things with some of the database information not coming through properly because of some settings. But Dave came through. Dave, aka Country Guy, came through like a star and got everything running, kept everything going really good, and it was a very smooth transition and happened very fast.
That's great. So with Dave doing, or excuse me, Country Guy doing the programming, and you also doing the programming and the moderating, how do you delegate? Because I mean, this is a fairly new website, but I mean, just coming from a member point of view and also a staff point of view, it's actually pretty large. You've got a lot of hands in different pots. So how do you delegate?
Well, it really takes everybody. I'll start by saying I don't really do programming. I do a lot of stuff with vBulletin. And be able to get in there and change settings and understand that. Do some changes on the templates and the look and the appearance of the forums. I'm able to edit some basic edits in PHP files. I've written some XML files. I've done some things with HTA access files. A bunch of things like that. I work within the Plesk desk, which is what we run on our server that controls all the server functionality, FTP, all that. But really, when it comes to the programming, the grassroots of it, I rely on Country Guy to do that. He is a programmer. He has schooling in it. As he indicated before, he's got about 10 years of experience in it, and really hands-on, self-taught, as even before he went to school. So he has a pretty good grasp of it, and together we troubleshoot stuff. And I spend a lot of time looking at add-ons, modules, speaking to companies, speaking to other people, other programmers about things, how they might work, how we could implement them, what they might cost, the time, trying to order the events as they occur so that we don't try to do too much too fast or go in the wrong direction, put something on before something else should happen. And it's changed from my perspective before. I tried to be a lot more directly reachable by the members, but now I'm going to have to rely a little bit more on 50 Quid to be the face of to the members while I do a lot of this other stuff. So while I say I would classify myself as a developer, I wouldn't say programmer just yet. I've got a lot to learn. And then, I really rely on a lot of these other guys. They're what makes the site work. People like yourself that do the news, the graphics guys, the 50 Quids of the world, the moderators, the guide team. All these people do an excellent job. They're the heart and soul of it. We got to see the bigger picture of what we want in the site, and then we just let people that are good in each one of those areas do their thing. Let them do what they're best at, and everything works out really good from that.
That's great. Yeah, I wish other employers took that frame of mind. Hire somebody to do a job, just let them do it.
There you go.
So, you open up the website February 1st, 2012. So it has been a year, a little bit over a year. What changes have you seen from now till then that most stand out for you, or that you're most proud of moving forward?
Well, I can say we've changed greatly. When we first opened, which actually we opened before February, that's when we went public, officially went public, to start inviting people to sign up. We had people that were signing up before that we allowed. And really we turned that into, the first initial phase was get vBulletin working. We were starting off new with it. Of course, Country Guy was not here with us at that time. We, got all the look and the banners and the colors and the icons and just everything tweaked, and that took a very long time. And of course, our initial programmer had some injuries, was hospitalized for about 5 months, and he ended up becoming severely disabled from it. And of course, he's no longer programming with us. I don't, I can't answer to his condition or anything like that, but obviously that led to needing some other help.
Mm-hmm.
So about 6 months ago, we took on Country Guy, and Country Guy is Dave. Dave's just been doing a fantastic job, and he's even interested in taking a lot more of the programming because we have some direction in a few other areas that we'd like to move, which includes other sites, at least 2 other sites. And those are, tasks that I was going to farm out to some other developers and programmers. But by the looks of it, we're kind of up in the air right now with a deal with some Israeli people,
Mm-hmm.
actually an American that lives in Israel, with a company there with a bunch of highly skilled programmers. But it's starting to look more and more like we might just, all we need is a Country Guy. So we'll have to see what develops with that. But as it stands right now, we've made some pretty big progress. We've come full circle to the point where we're getting more confident that we're ready to go kind of out to the masses. We're ready to start recruiting people, advertising, doing search engine optimization, and just blowing out the subscription content, having advertisement on the site, having more trophy card stuff, more access, more refreshes, just all the stuff happening and being added on. And then we can jump from there to getting some really big changes going. Some of the things that people have wanted to see for a long time, like a trophy card site.
Yeah.
So
That's something that actually, PlayStation in general is kind of lacking, where there's like a certain a leaderboard across the board for all gamers. But in terms of, because you and Country Guy or Dave, you guys work insane, bat crazy hours. I know I can log on to Skype, at any time of the day, and you're actively on Skype. So, how many hours would you say that you two work a week?
Well, Dave mentioned to me he believes he puts 50 to 60 in. I would say that actively stuff involving the site or on the site,
Mm-hmm.
I would say 80 to 90 hours. I actually had this discussion the other day. My wife said no, it's well into 100. But the thing is I multitask. I do a lot of things. I spend time with my family while I'm also on the site. I do a lot of things like that. I've severely cut down on gaming and going out and things like that. But of course I am married with kids, so it's okay to stay home.
Right.
But the key here is I have this dream of building this out. I'm almost impatient in my excitement, in that I want the things as quickly as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it is work. It does take a lot of work. There's a lot of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Dave can attest to this, where we're working with the server and controlling things with the server, or fixing something with the database and tweaking a program, tweaking it could be something as simple as a small setting, but then it affects a lot of other areas that need to be changed across the site. For now, our perspective is to add a bunch of things on and then tweak them on the back end. Once they're put on, get them working, see what works and what doesn't work. Mm-hmm. And then we also get more ideas from people. They see something added and they go, hey, can we have this too? And that helps out. Instead of trying to get it all before we put it on and try and get it all working.
Yeah, and that's also a good thing to mention. You do have an open thread on the forum for people to make suggestions about the front page.
Yes, we have that. We have that just in the staff section for now. But yes, the key is, we mentioned this before, is that you have to be open to everyone putting in their input. Mm-hmm. If you don't have that, we're not growing. We're not taking the collective ideas of everyone together. We won't have the best site we can have. It's not about what I want. It's not about what IDP for Life wants. It's not about what Country Guy wants to program. It's about the gaming community as a whole and what they want to see.
Right.
Not that we are, going to do things by committee or, everything's going to come to a vote. But at the same time, the major decisions and stuff like that, if people want to see it, we'll get it here. Now, there's certain things that are going to be cost prohibitive or, absurd in terms of programming. We're not going to have your favorite television show broadcast through the website or anything like that. Certain things we're going to say no to and stuff, obviously. But, if it's reasonable, we're going to at least look into it. We're going to present it to people. We're going to see what, how much of an interest there is and where we can take it.
Yeah. And I mean, I was also speaking about, I'm definitely aware of the staff section, but also you have a section in the forums under the member feedback and ideas. So it seems like you made your site, pretty much available for everyone to put in some type of feedback. Not that it's going to be 100%, done, but you will take into consideration from everyone.
Yeah.
Because that kind of, at least to me, kind of signifies the idea of this website where it's about a community.
Well, and that's just it. It's about everybody getting together with, their collective brains. And I make no reservations about, like, this is a pretty big deal that we have going here, because the general bigger picture is that we want a one-stop shop.
Mm-hmm.
We do not want just to be like another site. The part of the bigger picture here is just putting everything in one spot, doing it right, doing it with a great community, a great staff. We want to have the chat rooms, the arcades, the leaderboards, the cards, as well as the forum and game information, news, and a store, everything all put together in one spot. And if we can do that, we'll make a community that's going to attract people from all corners. And then we can have everything that we can possibly think of as, reasonably as free, and then just charge a small amount, $30-$40 a year for extra customization and things like that Country Guy spends time programming and putting on there. We'll make those things available for subscribers. And if we do that, we should attract a large number of people. And, that'll get the money flowing. That'll allow us to afford other things and bring even more things to the site.
Yeah, because as of right now, this is just more of a project of passion for you and for Dave, because this is not something that is monetary at this time. Is that correct?
Yes, not yet. I didn't start this with the idea of money. I didn't start this with the idea of, being in control of anything like this. It's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. I simply saw a need for all gamers to have this. I want this. I want to be on a site that has all these things, and it's a void that's out there that we're going to fill. And, for the longest time, I've looked at all these other sites and what they were doing wrong, what they were just focusing on just one thing, or their staff is doing a terrible job, all that stuff. Growth, lack of growth. How many sites have been out there? They haven't been changed in 5 years, and they're using outdated software and outdated ideas, or their staff is almost borderline corrupt with their unethical decisions and their nasty treatment of members. And it doesn't need to be that way. It can be a lot of things, very positive. It can be growth. It can be an adventure of everyone putting their best ideas forward and put it all together in the mix and turning out an absolutely awesome site, awesome information, all in one spot.
I like that. Now, I know when I spoke with you and Country Guy earlier, you didn't want to get into too much detail, which is perfectly fine. But what future plans, if you can speak on it, do you have for the website, or what plans did you have previously that are now in action? Like, let's say your chat room.
Yeah, initially I was actually against the chat. That was something that members, turned me on to as something that they wanted. Mm-hmm. And, we'll continue to see how viable that is if people want to use it. I take everything with a grain of salt, and I try to, apply it from a standpoint of what's reasonable, logical, and all that. It's not about what I want. It's not about what one particular person wants. It's a community thing. And from the beginning, we've changed a lot. And initially, we spent a lot of time, like I said, with optimizing vBulletin and the look of vBulletin. And once we got that down, we turned into adding everything. And probably over the last 6 months while Country Guy's been here, we've really had a tremendous amount of changes. And I'm sure the staff that were originally on the forums could attest to, we've gone through a huge change, even the last couple of months. We initially started out, we had a basic homepage and a forum. and we had an idea for putting guides up there. And now we're pulling stuff in from Sony and putting it up there. We've got a whole big game section that we're importing. We're taking people's trophy information for leaderboards. We have an arcade with over 500 games. Mm-hmm. We have a chat room. We have art cards that are up and working and refreshing by themselves. We have all of our social media stuff running now. We have a YouTube podcast channel. We have in the background things waiting for clans to get blown up. And then we're going to support all this with going forward with a lot more stuff. A trophy profile where a person can, have all their personal social stats related to trophies. And, the art cards is just another example. I mean, that's just one type of card. And we want to have a trophy card site. We want to have a sister Xbox site.
Oh, you do? So, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's not something we brag about or we jump on. We want people to, really be surprised by a lot of that stuff because it is a lot of work and it is something that we don't have a specific time frame, but these are things that are coming that we're working towards. We've always been working towards, and the goal is to just build it out properly. Mm-hmm. Right now we have SEO and getting members as our focus, and that's just recently. Never advertised before. We've never done search engine optimization. The time has come. We have enough of that stuff. We should be adding a store soon. Tweaking a few things with the front pages, doing a total news revamp. A bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah, you got a lot of things planned. That sounds cool.
Got a lot on the plate right now. Tremendous amount of stuff right on the plate right now.
Yeah, you do, definitely. It sounds like it's almost overflowing. So in terms of the art cards, I know that's a very new feature as well to the website. Can you kind of go into that? Like, what exactly are they for people who are not members or members who haven't did their own art card yet?
Well, an art card's gonna display a person's basic stat information, but then it's also more about the art and the gaming art. And so these are very colorful, very pronounced cards that show a lot of image. And one of the things about cards is like they're you find basic plain bland cards everywhere. These are just really your basic stats, but then also just eye-catching, eye-popping. They're a little bit trickier than most cards. For one, they have rounded corners. It's the only card version that we have that's got rounded corners. But we're going to take it to a whole new level here as we come. 50 Quid's really taken up the fight to get all the genres and stuff built out and getting people interested in making the cards and having some beautiful images for their favorite games. And
it basically kind of expresses who the gamer is, basically.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for a person to pick their own, decide what represents their game. But then also, I mean, think about it, I liken it to a triple win situation where a person goes out and they're advertising for a game. They're showing people what they're playing currently, most of the time. They are showing off their stats, and then wherever they're posting it, that card links back to us, so they're also advertising for the site. So it's a positive for everybody using it, and it's a positive for the site, and it'll get us noticed. And then when we add other things like that, hopefully that'll get us noticed to the point where we grow in member base quite significantly. And then, I look to the day where thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of people come, they see everything they like in a site, and they just sign up and stay. Yeah. And we have this huge family here of creative people, even more people helping each other, getting their friends to sign up. And, that's the kind of thing that will take us to the next level where we can actually afford to turn some of that money into some really crazy things to give to the members. I mentioned before when we talked about sending the news team to gaming events, allowing them to participate and actually write stories firsthand from things like E3. So
yeah, that'll be exciting. Now, with so many things on your plate, I mean, are you guys proactively looking for more help? Maybe not in the terms of like programmers. It seems like Dave has that under control. Country Guy Utility has that under control. But are you looking for more people to add to your news team or graphics team or any other teams that you may have?
Yeah, I'm really gonna from this point gonna rely on the rest of the staff to handle their areas and ask when they need something. 50 Quid's really in charge of the staff right at this point. He's hiring, he's making those decisions. I trust him to do that. He's doing a fantastic job. And really, we could use some more graphics team members right now. I have recently talked to you about taking on a little bit of things with the coming releases and stuff like that. We have a few holes there to fill with genres and coming releases. And then, as we grow, when something takes off and we get a lot more members of Influx, of course we'll need, to represent that with increases in staff. So, at this point, I would say if you're interested in a position or something like that, that'll all be handled by 50 Quid. Except for the exception of news team. The news team and the guide team are almost their own little entities. Those guys take care of themselves over there. You guys in the news team, Dante, that's kind of leading the charge there. He's responsible for the social media and overseeing, which in the future could become something not unlike an editor or something along those lines. But for now, everything's working like clockwork, and except for a little bit of shortage in graphics, I think we're doing pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Which that's Dante Zero for people who aren't familiar. If you want to reach out to him. As we're getting ready to wrap up here, I do have one question that I am curious about. Maybe others are as well. What is the one game that you are playing that you think everyone should play as well?
Well, I would have to say Warp. That's really the only game I've played recently that I can really recommend. It's a PSN game. I bought it, picked it up. It's a little bit older. I picked it up for about $5. Mm-hmm. It's made by Trapdoor and published by EA Partners. It's a game about an alien that awakes in a underwater facility where he's been captured by human scientists, and the object is to escape. Along the way, you start picking up more and more powers and abilities, and the ability to warp through a wall, from one wall to another, and actually into humans to explode them and things like that to help you escape. It's a pretty cool little game.
That sounds amazing. Is it kid friendly, or is it more
certainly not. It's actually a mature rating. You are exploding human beings by jumping inside them and like scrambling them around like their insides and causing them to explode like a balloon.
Oh wow.
So it's got the blood and guts, but it's not too bad. But it is also a little bit more of a difficult game in spots. There's a few spots, particularly with some challenges. Those challenge levels are timed, and they can be a real pain in the butt. And I don't know that a kid would want to do a couple of them, at least at the trophy level. Mm-hmm. It's one of those things. It doesn't have a platinum or anything like that, but it's certainly to get all the trophies, it is going to be quite a task.
Now, I know just from a personal level, it's another question I remember to ask you. From a personal level, we talked about you have some YouTube channels.
Yes.
Do you want to go into any of those to speak about? All right, go ahead, go for it.
Yeah, I think one of the things to know here is that gaming encompasses a lot of things. This is really the key that you got to recognize about gaming. Gaming isn't just playing on a console. It involves people that are creative in a number of different ways. They like gaming for a lot of different reasons. They like to compete. They like to, beat a game, beat a person, which is what the trophy cards are about. They're about bragging, really, showing off your stats. And that's cool because that's what gamers are about. We're about competition. Now, that relates to a lot of other areas in the world, which is, like on the site, we have awards. It's a form of competition. And a person can write. They can write news stories. They can write trophy guides. They can do graphics. They can compete in arcade games on the site. There's all these areas where a person can do these things and help people get recognized and do the things that they enjoy. Mm-hmm. Now, not only does gaming relate to all these different things, but that's the kind of things that brings us all together to make a bigger, better site. What I mean by that is, a person might make trophy guides, but they're also good at making videos. So we don't want to ignore video makers. We don't want to ignore YouTube, as the video gaming community is really big on YouTube. You know, a lot of people like watching videos on how to beat stuff, or they do podcasts and give their opinion, or they write reviews, do verbal reviews on a video on YouTube. So there's all these outlets and things like that, and I really enjoy YouTube as a source of, you know, getting information and watching funny videos. I probably spend more time on YouTube now than I do watching television. And you know, I enjoy doing a podcast. I enjoy having the channel to, you know, interview people, do all that other stuff, as well as making the videos. You know, I enjoyed the Trophy Guide videos, but I really enjoy the podcast. And not unlike yourself, you know, with you wanting to get that started, here's an opportunity for everybody to pitch in and help. You know, just like they give ideas to the site, they could do the same thing for your podcast coming up. You know, help you develop a name, help you find a partner that you might be looking for. You know, come up with the topics that they want to hear you discuss. They're the source of people you go to interview, all that stuff. So, you know, these are the kind of things that, you know, if you enjoy that and it's fun for you, you know, that's how we come together as a community and support a person's individual interests, and it's better for everybody, you know, the group as a whole.
Yeah, I like that. That's awesome. Another thing that this website does to bring the community together is that you guys have gaming events.
Yes.
Now, with your gaming events, I know the one coming up. So hopefully, when this goes up, it hasn't already taken place. But because it is the anniversary month, it is going to be staff versus the forum members.
Yes.
So can you kind of go into what gaming events you guys had in the past, and you know exactly how that works? I have not been a part of any gaming events. I just joined the staff recently. But
yes,
can you kind of go into it?
Yeah, sure. So we want to involve the community in not only, you know, gaming by themselves and getting help with trophy guides and videos and things like that. But, you know, the other thing is finding people to play with, because the other elements and stuff that we can add to the site going forward are not only comparison with trophy stats and stuff like that, but matchmaking. What game are you playing? Letting people put in when they're wanting to do a boosting session, and putting that boosting section up so that, you know, you get 10 people to join in and you can knock trophies and stuff out faster. Or having a game night where, you know, the staff and forum members and stuff play together, and we can just, you know, have fun. We can make videos and record stuff. You know, have competitions where we give awards on the site, or, you know, even something as simple as, you know, making fun of someone else, giving them a name. You know, we did a little bit of that before, where we had competitions and a person could give the other person a name.
50 squid.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we did some things besides just nicknames. We did, you know, just a little saying underneath where the person's, like where the staff have their title. We would put in something related to how badly they got crushed in their competition or whatnot. So all these things are you know, they're fun. They're a good way to meet people. We meet other people. It attracts attention. People say, hey, I can go play with this group. I can learn something about this game. I can have somebody help me boost this trophy. You know, there's all these things, and it's, you know, part of that coming together as a community. Yeah. And, you know, even now we have the chat room, so we can even do a live a chat, you know, while we're playing, you know, the game. We can actually do that in text chat and everything like that as well, to the members that don't have mics. You know, all kinds of stuff. There's the possibilities are endless here.
Yeah, my first time seeing the community gaming event, it was on YouTube, and it was one of those things that can only bring you closer. It was a GTA suicide.
And we jumped off the roof.
Yeah.
we did one before too. We did a Call of Duty where we all got on a truck and we set off a chain of C4 all the way to the truck and blew everybody up and filmed that. And
how can that not bring you closer?
There's all kinds of fun things like that, and it's really good to play with the community members in games, and you know, try some unique game modes. That's the other thing. A lot of these, you know, you haven't done before. We did like Black Ops, where we were racing RC cars around the map and things like that, and we do the Mike Myers stuff with the knife and all. It's it's just cool to just hang out and have fun, and 'cause that's what gaming's about. We're about fun, we're about competition, meeting people, hanging out, trophies. So
That's great. So I do have one more question, then we can wrap it up from here. But your anniversary month is the same month as PlayStation's ultra secret, but not really a secret. It's probably going to be the PS4, but they say it's going to be the PS4 conference. What do you feel about that?
well, I've been very vocal on my podcast about what I expect from technology. And my only hope is that no matter what they do, that it's significant to the point that it warrants buying a PS4 instead of hanging on to the PS3. Because I don't like the idea of separation. Like if half of us stick with the PS3 for a while and the rest of us go to PS4, or it's very expensive and it has few changes from the PS3. Right. So whatever comes, I just hope that it's significant and it's warranted and it supports going to another console. Right. Not just it's time for it. Let's slap a number 4 on it and upgrade the drive a little bit.
The iPhone.
We'll have a 500 gigabyte drive now, and it's a PS4.
Yeah. Definitely understand that. That seems to be the trend of technology. So, and I don't want to get too much into it because you probably talked about it on your podcast, which if you guys don't know, it is Pod Station on TrophiesonPSN.com.
Yep. We're available on iTunes. We're available on YouTube on the channel, Trophies on PSN channel on YouTube. I want to encourage everybody to join the social media and kind of the loop, and also support, IDP for Life and his coming endeavor in a podcast.
Thank you.
And help give him some ideas. Know that when you invite your friends, it becomes that much more fun. There's more people to meet. And you can just share the love. That also supports us. If you want us to see and be able to add all these things, help us get some members. Help us think about growth. We are starting to focus on that. We haven't in the past advertised or done search engine optimization, but we're at a point now we need to grow and grow and grow. So
absolutely, and for that growth, you can go to TrophiesonPSN.com, and at the very top, if you are not a member, click on Create an Account, and we definitely hope to hear from you soon. If you're not a member, if you are a member and you want to contribute in any way you can, and let's say you can't do the news, you can't do graphics. But you found some extra change in your couch, you can click on the donate button and donate any amount you want. We accept all amounts, preferably the $1 million to $2 million range. But we definitely appreciate anything you guys can definitely provide. And also, as KD was saying, I will be having a podcast coming up shortly. I am looking for more assistance with it, also a partner with it as well. A regular guest host. So if you guys have any suggestions, you can get in contact with me by emailing the news team at news@TrophiesonPSN.com. And also, if you hear any other news or any updates or anything you want us to cover, please go ahead and email us once again at news@TrophiesonPSN.com. KD, do you have anything else you want to?
Well, you might mention if people know about coming releases, they hear about a release. You are going to be taking up some stuff with the calendar and getting the coming releases all together. And that's a good opportunity to also forward that information to you.
Yes.
So it can get populated on the calendar, and seeing that 50 Squid gets his hands on it for adding forums for each of the games.
Name correctly.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, so if you want to get in contact with me, IDP for Life, or anybody else from the news team, please use the email news@TrophiesonPSN.com, and that's for any gaming updates, anything that you want us to focus on, any ideas in terms of the podcast, please definitely reach out. So if there's nothing else, KD, thank you very much, man, for taking the time out.
You are welcome, and thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, man. You have a good day. Everybody else, have a great day. Game on.
Take care.
Bye.